What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is the Prince of YouTube, PS Compulsion, signing in here, aka that 22-year-old kid with the light squeaky voice, aka Prince Anthony. And in the last episode, I decided that it was finally time to move on from Carmelo. I have decided that I am gonna go ahead and trade Carmelo Anthony. Why, you may ask? Because he wants a crazy contract extension. He wanted me to offer him a 3-year, $113 million contract offer. But before I could even get to his offer, he decided that he was going to test free agency, so I had to use the grasses and greener pitch just for him to tell me that he wants $113 million over the next 3 seasons, which is definitely not going to happen. So I was like, you know what, it's time for us to move on. I got his morale all the way down to 0, so I know he's going to waive his no trade clause. But before I traded Carmelo, I decided to play one last game with Carmelo here in New York, and it was a home game against the Oklahoma City Thunder. He dropped 21 points in his final game as a New York Knick. And oh yeah, we also won the game, so our winning streak continues. I think we won like 12 games in a row or something like that. But nonetheless, one main trade that I was looking at to make for Melo is to get a top 5 pick. I really want to get one of those players that everybody been talking about, one of those rookies in the NBA draft, and my owner been telling me about those rookies as well. So I was like, you know what, I want to see what all the hype is about, so I gotta trade Melo for a top 5 pick. I gotta figure out a way to get my hands on one of those top 5 picks. And looking at the teams that we have, I guess I'm gonna have no choice but to trade Melo to one of these teams, whether it be the Pacers, Mavericks, Bulls, maybe even the Magic. Looking at the records though, for all of the teams in the conference, the Indiana Pacers have the worst record, so that's where I want Melo to go. I have to get my hands on that pick, bruh. They are 3-26 for the NBA season so far, so that means that they're most definitely gonna get a top 5 pick. Most definitely, bruh. So now the first team that I tried to trade Carmelo to was none other than the Chicago Bulls. They still have Dwayne Wade on the squad. They still got Zach LaVine, so maybe I could make a trade for one of those players, but Zach LaVine was injured. He's gonna be out for quite a while, so I wasn't able to get my hands on Zach LaVine, but I did try to get Dwayne Wade and the pick. It definitely did not work. I also tried to get a trade for maybe Justin Holiday, Mirotic, Robin Lopez. I even tried to trade for Joakim Noah and the pick, and it definitely did not work. So the Bulls are out of the running for me getting that top 5 pick. So the next team I decided to look at was the Cleveland Cavaliers. Don't worry, Isaiah Thomas, I'm definitely getting you in free agency, so I'm not going to try to trade for you now. But there is one player that I want, and that one player is Jay Crowder. I definitely would love having him on my team, so I decided to try to trade for him. But the only way the trade would have went through is if I included J.R. Smith and Iman Shumpert, former Knicks, in the deal, and it was not going through for nothing. The Cavs are definitely out of the running. I couldn't make that trade. So now the next team that I looked at was the Orlando Magic, and they have some pretty decent pieces on that team that I would like to trade for. Evan Fournier, T. Ross, maybe Jonathan Isaac. So I tried to trade for Fournier and that first round pick and Terrence Ross, and it did not go through. It didn't matter what trade that I made for the Orlando Magic. They was not trying to give up that pick at all, and it was not trying to trade any of their assets. I was like, you know what, that's a dub. I'm definitely not gonna make no trade with the Magic. Now the next team is the Dallas Mavericks. They are projected to have the number 2 pick in the NBA draft right now because of how horrible they're playing, and there isn't really much pieces on this team that I could trade for that I would want on my team. I mean, yeah, they got Harrison Barnes, maybe Wesley Matthews, but not really much young talent on the team in addition to the pick. So I did try to make a trade with them, and they were not trying to accept anything that I was offering. They kept kind of offering me more players, and I just wasn't trying to give up that much just to get back, you know, older players and the pick. So I was like, you know what, deal is off with the Mavs. So the last team that I looked at was none other than the Indiana Pacers. They have a pretty good amount of talent on their team. I mean, I wouldn't mind having Victor Oladipo, but that 4-year contract is kind of slow. Like, no, I really don't want that 4-year contract on my books. But I did manage to strike up a good deal with the Indiana Pacers, and the trade actually went through. I didn't expect it to go through, but basically I'm giving up Carmelo Anthony, Kuzminskis, who's in the D-League, and James Michael McAdoo, who's also in the D-League, for Bojan Bogdanovic. I can't even pronounce his name, so I'm gonna just call him Gohan, Corey Joseph, and Lance Thomas, who's going to be coming back to the Knicks. And last but not least, their 2018 first round pick. I made it a swap pick, a swap best pick. So basically, we are going to get the higher pick in the NBA draft, which belongs to the Indiana Pacers, meaning we're definitely going to get the #1 pick. But anyways, Carmelo is finally gone off the New York Knicks. He's going to the Indiana Pacers, and welcome to New York, our 3 new players, and potentially the #1 pick in the NBA draft. And since I did trade away Kuzminskis and James Michael McAdoo, which were both power forwards, I decided to sign Sean Long from the D-League to a 2-way contract just to have a backup power forward on the squad. Also, I decided to change Corey Joseph's position from point guard to shooting guard. His backup position is going to be the point guard, and his overall actually went up. So now he's going to be playing off the ball, and his overall went up to 77. He's going to be the first shooting guard off the bench instead of having Nick Stauskas. And I was going to assign Damian Dotson to the G League, but I decided to send down Randall instead. I mean, I feel like it would benefit him a little bit more than Damian Dotson, and I want to keep a shooting guard around just in case somebody goes out and get injured. But anyways, looking at our new lineup, or roster I should say, after the trade, we got Sean Long, who's in the G League, Damian Dotson, Randall, who's in the G League, Lance Thomas, Nick Stauskas, Glenn Robinson III, Frank Ntilikina, Felicio, who's in the G League, Corey Joseph, Kyle O'Quinn, my son Gohan, that's what I'm gonna call him. I'm not calling him Bogdanovich, I'm calling him Gohan. That's gonna be his new nickname. Willie Hernan Gomez, Patrick Beverly, Chris Bosh, Devin Booker, and last but not least, my man Kristaps Porzingis. So our roster is looking pretty decent, and we could definitely compete and make it to the playoffs with this roster the way that it's set up. And on top of that, we still have $35 million in free cap space right now. And if that's not good enough, next season, or this offseason I should say, we're going to have more than $65 million in free cap space. So you might as well welcome Isaiah Thomas to the team right now. And if that isn't great enough, look at this. We are projected to have the #1 pick in the NBA draft. So Petrovic, Baldwin, or Staples are one of them are definitely gonna come to our squad, bro. Most definitely. So now that the trade is over, go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section below. Tell me what you guys think about this trade. In my opinion, I think this was a great trade, bro, especially for the future. We could still compete right now with the team that we have, and on top of that, next offseason is most definitely gonna be lit. So leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you guys think. I'm looking forward to reading you guys' comments. And before I go, I gotta say thank you to Carmelo for everything he's done for the New York Knicks. But bruh, it was time for you to go. But anyways, like I said, leave your comments in the comment section below. This is the Prince of YouTube signing out. Let's go Knicks!